So I was sitting here meditating and more so as a way to keep me accountable and also keep others in the loop. I guess people who watch my videos are very few of you guys. And really, this is for the future. Like, I envision this YouTube video being watched in 2020, not even 2020 anything, 2050, 2060, 2070. When I'm dead and gone, maybe not that soon, hopefully, but I envision my YouTube channel as a time capsule. So I am not really focused on who is watching it right now, although I'm eternally grateful for you watching, but I don't see this as something that I'm doing for me. So I'm not really concerned with who watches and who doesn't. So if you happen to know me personally, please don't compliment me on anything that has to do with my YouTube channel. Please don't look at the views or do it. Just understand, I guess the point that I'm trying to get at is I don't care. I don't care. So, however you want to operate with the information is how you operate, but just know when you bring it to me, I don't care. Whether you like it, I don't care whether you resonate with it, whether you don't, whether you judge me, whether you don't, because that's not why I'm doing it. Now, will I be grateful if you get something from it? Absolutely. But I'm not attached to that emotion. So just don't bring your opinions about it to me because I just don't really care one way or another. I don't care if it's a negative opinion, and I also don't care if it's a positive opinion. I just want to be left alone and in peace to create this time capsule because that's what's been put on my heart to do, right? So now that that is out of the way, I was meditating and a few gems came to me. There was one that came to me before I started meditating, and then as I was meditating, it kind of unfolded and like. So I just want to share. Okay, so one of the things that I've been being guided towards, pushed towards, is decentering men in my life. I personally have never had a positive experience with a male. I've had tolerable experiences, if I'm being honest. And this is the first time in my life that I've ever been honest about that. I think a lot of times as women, we're gaslit into believing a fairy tale about men. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not, compared to how bad it could be, it really isn't. But if I'm being 1,000% honest, I have never had an interaction with a male that left me feeling like, wow, that really filled my soul, that really benefited me. I really felt like I was I was honoring everything I'm about with that interaction. So for that reason, I'm going to be taking the next year completely separating myself from men. I'm not dating, I'm not talking to them, where you can't call me, you can't text me, you're getting blocked. I don't want to talk to you on Instagram. I don't want to talk to you in my inbox anywhere, on any social media. I am just not interacting with them at all unless absolutely necessary. Like I'm planning to get back into the workplace, so there I think there are a couple male teachers at the school that I'm going to be working at. So that's the only interaction I'm going to be having with people of the opposite sex. If it has nothing to do with business or or some sort of opportunity of how we're, going to get something accomplished outside of a romantic setting, then I just don't have space for them in my life. And then there are other things that I want to incorporate. As far as like my fitness journey, I really want to commit to eating vegetables, fruits, and grains only. Very minimal cooking, very minimal like processed foods. Just I want to commit the next year to that. I want to commit the next year to traveling to my dream places. I want to commit the next year to writing my book. And then, so that's kind of what I was thinking about, all the things that I want to commit the next year to and kind of see like, where does that really, because it's just a year. A year goes by like this. So if I can just suck it up and let go of all of my excuses and just take the next year for me, something purely for me, for the things that I say that I want in life. And that's another realization that I made. I know we've all heard the whole like you can't expect things out of your partner that you're not willing to provide. So basically, but people typically focus on the like, if you don't have a car, then you shouldn't expect them to have one. And if you don't have a job, then you shouldn't expect them to have one. And if you don't have all of these basic things, right, materialistic things. But it also applies, like, once you get all of that, because I went through that phase, like, I'm not going to expect anything out of a man that I can't bring to the table too. But I was thinking very low level, like, I'm not going to expect him to have a job if I don't have a job. I'm not going to expect, and very tit for tat and back and forth. But once you, I guess, conquer that level of the game, for all my game heads, once you beat that level and you see the boss and whatever and you beat him, the next world that you evolve to, or the next stage in the game, is understanding and applying that this also applies to how you operate mentally and emotionally as well. So if you are not willing to speak to yourself in a kind way or give yourself grace, then you're going to attract a partner who can't do that because you're not giving yourself that. So you kind of like bring it up from the very materialistic basic needs type of thing, money and whatever, to how you're treating yourself, your self-esteem. And then that's where we kind of get into self-love. So I was kind of realizing like maybe the fact that I'm attracting partner after partner after partner after partner that I don't feel aligns with who I am, I'm not having experiences that I can walk away from and say, wow, that really like filled me, that really was worth the time and the energy that I put into it, that really just felt right. The reason why I'm not attracting those types of experiences with men and in general is because I am not honoring the things that I say that I want for myself. So then, of course, I'm going to attract a partner who doesn't really care about my well-being, because I don't care about my well-being. And that's being communicated through my actions, my lack of being able to commit to a diet that I've been saying for years that I wanted to do for myself, that I know would be good for me, that I know that I want to do, and I haven't been able to commit to. I haven't been able to listen to my own self. So how am I going to attract a partner that listens to me, that values me, that, and I'm not doing any of those things? So the next year is going to be committed to me doing all the things that I say that I want to do, letting go of the excuses, and just focusing in on what my soul is telling me is the correct thing for me to do, and not listening to anything outside of that. And then we'll see where we are in a year. So that's kind of the space that I entered the meditation with. And then, as I'm sitting there listening, because it was a guided meditation, and as I'm sitting there listening, these thoughts kept coming to me. It wasn't invasive thoughts, they were just, regular thoughts. And they weren't judgmental, they weren't, worrisome thoughts or anything bad. It was just I was just kind of letting, letting messages come to me. And one of the things was, I mentioned earlier that one of the things I want to focus on in this coming year is writing my second book. And in the meditation, it actually came to me, but I've been procrastinating writing this book. And one thing that I'm learning about procrastination and laziness and all of these different kind of things is there's somewhere that it comes from. I think we talked about this in another video, but like maybe it was the video where I talked about the things that I've learned on my weight loss journey, on my my wellness journey. One of the things that I learned was instead of fighting against when you feel lazy or beating yourself up or trying to just work with yourself, because there's a reason why you're feeling lazy towards that one thing. And when you really look at laziness, it's very pointed, like it's very specific towards certain things. There are people, like, of course, there's some people who are just lazy in general and they just don't want to do anything. But for the most part, 90% of the time, if not more, we're only lazy towards a particular thing. Like, some people are lazy when it's time to clean up. Some people are lazy when it's time to do their schoolwork. Some people are lazy when it's time to give their partner attention or whatever it is, right? But in other areas, they're not lazy. They're willing to put in the work. They're willing to put in the effort. Why is that? So, kind of applying that to ourselves, I'm starting to realize more and more that when I feel lazy, when I feel like I'm procrastinating, when I feel like I don't want to do something, even though I myself have said to myself this, I have feelings in me that want to do it, but it's just not getting done. When it comes to the actual action, it's just not happening. I'm starting to realize that there's a reason for that. And the reason is that it's not the thing that I shouldn't be doing. It's the approach that I'm trying to go at. And I'm trying to make sure that it's the right approach. It's an approach that feels good within my spirit. Because once it feels good within my spirit, I can work nonstop 24 hours straight on it. But if it's something that I'm constantly having to force myself to do, most of the time, I have to look at it from a different angle. So I'm going to kind of apply this to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. So with this book thing, I've been procrastinating on writing my second book. And I know that this book is important. This book is probably what I have been put here to do. It resonates with my soul. I have been wanting to write this book since I was a little girl. I have known that I would write this book since I was a little girl. But I cannot I just cannot for the life of me write it. I just cannot write it. And so during the meditation just now, I came to the realization that the book shouldn't just be a book. Like, I was thinking about, what is a book and how many people really read and how many people really can read, and if the information was in a book, how many people would miss out on it. And so if my true intention is to get my message out to as many people as possible and share my story with as many people as possible and eliminate as many barriers as I can, I'm not going to put it in like a book. And maybe that's why energetically I feel that I don't want to step forward kind of thing, that let's not start writing the book, because it's not 100% baked. It's like 80% baked. Like, that's what came up in my head. So that's what I said. Like, if we were baking a cake and the cake would be this book, or the cake would be my, sharing my story with the world, because that's really what the cake is. The overall goal, sharing my story with the world. And then there's all these avenues that I can take to be able to do that, right? I could write a book, a tell-all book about my story, or I can do videos. I can use this YouTube channel to tell my story. So, long story short, that is what I am planning on doing. I already have all the topics that I want to write about. I already have those written down somewhere. And I'm going to dedicate a video to each of those topics and I'm going to talk about it. Now, after I complete this process, I am going to take those videos, transcribe them, and put them into a book. So that is going to be the plan. That feels like the most well-rounded way to do it. That feels good with my soul and my spirit. I feel excited about that route. I feel like that is going to be the thing that ignites my fire and reignites the passion that I once had for this particular purpose that's been placed on my life. And so that's what we're gonna do. So this is kind of like, I don't know what I'm titling it yet because there are a couple different themes that we talked about, but for the most part, this is me announcing that that's going to be the direction that we're gonna go in. I also, and I'm not making separate YouTube channels for any of this. Like I'm not doing it. I'm gonna make a separate playlist for all the different types of videos that I'm gonna be making, and it's a one-stop shop. I don't have time to be making, oh, this is my YouTube channel for traveling, and this is my YouTube channel for telling my story, and this is my YouTube channel for my tarot, and this is my, no. Okay, I'm just not doing it. So again, I'm not here for anybody's approval, anybody's whatever. I'm here to do my thing, share my life. So that's the way that I want to do it. That's the way that feels good to me. So look out for that. And yeah, so I plan to travel outside of the United States. So I'll be making videos about that. I will also plan to travel to a couple of other places. So I'll make videos about that. And it's just, I'm not segmenting any parts of my life anymore. It's time to integrate. It's time, all of it is me. All of it is a part of who I am. And so I don't need any separate channels for any of it. So you're going to see a little bit of tarot. You're going to see a little bit of travel. You're going to see a little bit of me cussing people out. You're going to see a little bit of me telling my story, candid and uncut and raw. You're going to see a little bit of me giving advice from the perspective of whatever it is that I've been through. And yeah, let's have a good time, right? So yeah, I think we're at the end of this video. I am probably gonna like go through the list right now because I'm just like, that's how you know that you're on the right path. I'm excited to make these videos for you guys. Like I just can't. I want to record all of them right now. And that's the passion, that's the fire, that's the drive that we should have about everything and anything that we're doing in our life, from our relationships to our career choices to our business, if we have one, to everything, our relationships with our children and our parents and our family, and everything that we do in life should be approached with that type of passion, that type of drive, that passion. Like, otherwise, what's the point? What's the point? Otherwise, there isn't one. And so, at least not for me. People can come up with their points. Is what it is, right? So now we have reached the end of this particular video. And until next time, be well.